Luke Garrett walked through the busy corridors of the interstellar trade hub, his eyes scanning stalls filled with alien goods and colorful displays. Beings of all shapes and sizes bustled around, trading goods, negotiating loudly, or just catching up with friends from faraway worlds. Luke felt at home here, even among beings who looked nothing like him. His curiosity and friendliness had always helped him adapt and make connections, which made him a successful trader. As Luke stopped by a stall selling exotic fruits from a distant planet, a gentle voice beside him asked softly, "What exactly are those?" Turning, Luke saw an alien woman standing close by. She had a tall, slender build, with skin that shimmered softly under the market lights in shades of pale blue and purple. But it was her vibrant green eyes that caught Luke's attention immediately. He had never seen eyes quite like them, bright and filled with curiosity. "They're called Valorian berries," Luke explained kindly. "Very sweet and slightly sour too. Would you like to try one?" The alien woman seemed surprised at his offer, but nodded slowly. Luke smiled and handed her a small berry. She hesitated briefly, then placed it in her mouth. Her eyes widened slightly, and a small pleased smile appeared on her face. "Delicious," she admitted softly. "Thank you," Luke nodded warmly. "My name's Luke. Luke Garrett. I trade goods here regularly. And you are?" "Alia," she replied simply, her voice gentle. "I'm Alia." Alia glanced around the busy market before looking back at Luke. Noticing his gaze, she tilted her head slightly, confused by his continued staring. "Why are you looking at me like that, human?" Alia asked softly, her voice carrying genuine curiosity rather than annoyance. Luke felt a bit embarrassed and quickly cleared his throat. "Sorry, your eyes. They're very unique. I haven't seen anything like them before. They're quite beautiful." Alia blinked slowly, clearly processing his words, then smiled faintly. "I suppose I should thank you. Your words are kind. Would you like to join me for a moment?" Luke asked, motioning to a small sitting area near the stalls. Alia hesitated briefly, but then nodded. They walked together and sat down on comfortable, cushioned chairs near a transparent wall. Through it, they could see ships docking and departing against the blackness of space. "Are you new here?" Luke asked, genuinely curious about Alia. "Not exactly," Alia replied quietly, looking away. "My ship broke down and my crew moved on without me. It's been difficult." Luke felt a pang of sympathy for her. He understood loneliness. Being a trader meant he often traveled alone, but he always found companionship eventually. Alia, however, seemed truly stranded. "Maybe I can help," Luke offered without hesitation. "I'm good at fixing ships. It's part of being a trader having to patch things up myself." Alia stared at him, clearly uncertain. "Why would you help me, a stranger?" "Because you need it," Luke answered simply. "That's what we humans do. We help each other. And besides, it would be nice to spend more time with someone interesting like you." Alia smiled a little more broadly this time, clearly touched by his honesty. "Then yes, Luke Garrett, I would like your help." They rose from their seats and walked together toward the docking area where Alia's ship was grounded. Luke felt a sense of excitement and purpose. He rarely encountered someone who fascinated him as much as Alia. Her quiet dignity and vulnerability made him feel protective, something he hadn't experienced in a long time. Alia's ship was small but elegantly designed, clearly built for speed rather than heavy cargo. Luke immediately began examining the exterior, noting several points of damage. Alia stood quietly, watching him carefully. "How long have you been stuck here?" Luke asked as he opened a small toolkit he always carried. "Nearly 2 weeks," Alia admitted softly. "I didn't know who to trust. The crew. They just left." Luke shook his head in disbelief. "That's terrible. No one should leave someone behind like that." Alia moved closer, observing him closely as he worked. "Do humans always care this much about strangers?" Luke paused, looking up at her thoughtfully. I can't speak for all humans, but most of us do. Kindness is important to us. It's how we survive. Alia seemed to consider this deeply, then nodded slowly. Maybe humans are different from what I've been told. What have you heard about us? Luke asked, returning to his task. That humans are selfish and aggressive, Alia said softly, embarrassment coloring her tone. Luke chuckled softly, not offended at all. Some are, but most of us aren't. Humans are just complicated. Like everyone else, I suppose? Alia knelt beside him, observing closely. You're not complicated, she stated simply. You're kind. Luke looked at her, caught off guard by the sincerity in her voice. Thank you, Alia. I try to be. They worked quietly for a while, repairing the ship as best they could. Alia proved surprisingly helpful, her nimble fingers handling Luke tools efficiently. Gradually, Luke noticed Alia's initial cautiousness melting away, replaced by a quiet confidence as she assisted him. Hours passed, and finally, Luke stood back, wiping his forehead. There, that should do it. Your ship should hold together now. Alia looked at her repaired vessel with quiet awe and gratitude. You've done so much for me. How can I ever repay you? Luke smiled warmly, shaking his head. You don't need to. Just seeing you safely on your way is enough for me. Alia studied him carefully, a gentle smile appearing on her lips again. You truly are unusual, Luke Garrett. I'll take that as a compliment. Luke laughed softly. Lya laughed too, a sound that Luke found surprisingly delightful. As they stood together, he realized he didn't want her to leave. He enjoyed her company, and the thought of her leaving made him feel strangely sad. Lya seemed to notice his sudden quietness and tilted her head curiously. Is something wrong, Luke? Nothing, Luke replied quickly, smiling warmly again. Just glad I could help. Alia studied his face carefully, as though she sensed his thoughts but chose not to push further. Instead, she looked up at the vast expanse of space visible through the hangar's open bay doors. Stars glittered silently, bright and distant, and Alia sighed softly. The stars are beautiful, aren't they? Alia whispered. Luke gazed upward, nodding slowly. Yes, they are. They stood in silence, side by side, looking out into space. Luke felt a warmth he couldn't quite explain, and Alia, despite her earlier caution, seemed entirely at ease beside him. Neither spoke, content to share this quiet, meaningful moment before whatever came next. Luke Garrett woke up early the next day, still thinking about his encounter with Alia. He had promised to meet her again near her ship. After quickly getting ready, he made his way to the docking area, feeling unusually eager and curious. As he approached Alia's ship, he saw her standing by its entrance, looking worried. Is everything okay? Luke asked as he reached her side. Lya turned to him with clear relief in her eyes. Luke, thank goodness you're here. Something strange happened overnight. Luke looked concerned. Strange how? Someone was here, Alia said quietly. They tried to damage the ship again. Look. She led him to the side of the ship, pointing to fresh marks clearly made by tools. Luke inspected the damage carefully, frowning. You're right. Someone definitely did this on purpose. It looks like they tried to disable your engines completely this time. Alia sighed, her eyes showing frustration and fear. Why would anyone do this to me? I have no enemies here. At least none I know about. Maybe it wasn't personal, Luke suggested gently. It could be something else entirely. Have you talked to the security here? Alia shook her head slowly. No. I wasn't sure if they would listen. They might think I did this myself for attention. Luke placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. They won't. I'll come with you. It's important we report this. Together, they walked to the security office located near the entrance of the trade hub. Inside, the security chief, a serious-looking human named Dana Mitchell, greeted them with a cautious look. What can I do for you? Dana asked, her voice polite but firm. My friend's ship was sabotaged last night, Luke explained calmly. Someone deliberately damaged it. Dana looked at Alia carefully. Are you certain it wasn't accidental? Alia nodded earnestly. Yes, this is the second time it's happened. Luke helped me repair it yesterday, and now it's damaged again. Dana considered their words for a moment before nodding. I'll send a team to investigate. Meanwhile, stay alert and report. Anything suspicious immediately. Alia seemed relieved but still uneasy as they left the office. Luke stayed close by, offering silent support. What do we do now? Alia asked softly. We look for answers ourselves, Luke decided firmly. Someone here knows something. The market is always full of information. They returned to the busy market area, carefully observing their surroundings. Luke led Alia to various stalls, asking subtle questions about suspicious activities. Most traders knew Luke and talked openly, but none had noticed anything unusual. Still, Luke didn't lose hope. Finally, at a small stall selling electronic components, they encountered an old trader named Sam, known for his sharp eyes and ears. Sam, have you noticed anything odd lately? Luke asked, keeping his voice. Low. Sam glanced around before leaning closer. Now that you mention it, there have been whispers. Strange folks moving around at night. They stay clear of the main areas. Always near the docks. Alia exchanged a worried glance with Luke. Did you see who they were? Only glimpses, Sam admitted cautiously. But they're not regular traders. Newcomers, keeping to themselves. Luke thanked Sam and gently guided Alia away from the stall. It's something to start with, he told her quietly. Let's keep looking. As they walked, Alia looked thoughtful. Why would strangers target me? Luke shook his head, puzzled himself. It might not be just about you. It could be about causing trouble between different species. The trade hub thrives because of peace. Conflict could disrupt everything. Alia shivered slightly, her worry deepening. Luke noticed her distress and stopped, turning to face her directly. Alia, listen to me. We'll figure this out together. You're not alone anymore, Luke promised earnestly. Lya looked deeply into Luke's eyes, finding sincerity and strength there. I believe you, Luke. Thank you for helping me. I never thought I'd trust a human this much. Luke smiled. Softly, trust goes both ways, Alia. We'll keep each other safe. They spent the rest of the day talking to traders and quietly gathering information. As evening approached, Luke suggested they return to Alia's ship to keep watch overnight. You really think they'll come back? Alia asked nervously as they settled into a concealed spot near her ship. They might, Luke said gently, trying not to worry her. But we'll be ready for them. The hours passed slowly, darkness surrounding the docks except for dim security lights. Alia sat close to Luke, the silence between them comfortable yet tense. Suddenly, a faint noise caught Luke's attention. Someone's here, he whispered urgently. Ly, a tense beside him as they watched carefully. 3 shadowy figures moved toward Alia's ship, tools in hand. Luke gently touched Alia's arm, signaling her to remain silent as he quietly contacted security through his handheld communicator. Within moments, security officers rushed into the docking area, lights illuminating the surprised intruders. The figures attempted to flee but were quickly caught. Dana Mitchell approached Luke and Alia afterward, her expression grim. You two were right, Dana said seriously. These individuals are part of a rogue group trying to disrupt peace between humans and other species. They targeted Alia because she was isolated, hoping to frame humans for the attacks. Alia stared in shock, overwhelmed by the revelation. Luke stepped closer, his presence steady and comforting. Will they be stopped now? Luke asked firmly. Yes, Dana assured them. Thanks to your quick thinking, we prevented further harm. As Dana left to handle the prisoners, Alia turned slowly to Luke. Her eyes were wide with gratitude and relief. You saved me, Luke. If you hadn't been here, who knows what would have happened? Luke smiled warmly. You're stronger than you think, Alia. But yes, I'm glad I could help. Alia looked away shyly for a moment before meeting his gaze again. Do you really think we prevented a bigger conflict? Absolutely, Luke confirmed confidently. And it's thanks to you being brave enough to trust me. Alia smiled softly, finally relaxing. Trusting you was easy. You showed me what humans can truly be. They stood together quietly as the docks became peaceful once again. Alia felt a new sense of safety and belonging she hadn't known since. Her crew abandoned her. With Luke by her side, she realized she had found a friend, and maybe something more profound. Luke also felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing they had faced danger together and come out stronger. Alia's trust and companionship meant more to him than he had realized, and he found himself hoping their bond would only deepen from here. The night grew quiet, and they continued to watch the stars, aware that the future was uncertain, but less frightening with each other close by. The following morning, Luke, Garrett, and Alia met again, feeling determined, but still slightly shaken from the previous night's events. After discovering the rogue group's intentions, they knew they had to find out more about who might be behind it. The security officers were handling the captured intruders, but Luke and Alia sensed there was more to uncover. We should talk to Dana again, Alia suggested as they walked toward the security office. Maybe she found more information from those they caught. Luke nodded thoughtfully. Good idea. But we should also stay careful. There might be others watching. Alia glanced around cautiously, her eyes scanning the crowded halls of the trade hub. She stayed close to Luke, feeling safer by his side. As they approached the security office, they found Dana Mitchell waiting for them with a serious look. I'm glad you two are here, Dana said without hesitation. We learned something important from the prisoners. They're part of a bigger plan. Someone wants to create tension between humans and other alien groups to disrupt trade and peace. Who would want that? Alia asked quietly, clearly confused. We're not entirely sure yet, Dana admitted, looking frustrated. But we know they were working under someone else's orders. Someone powerful enough to organize something like this. Luke's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Did they give any names or hints? Dana shook her head slowly. They were very careful. But they did mention meeting a contact here at the hub. Someone passing information and orders. Alia felt uneasy. That means someone here, someone we might see every day, is involved. Exactly, Dana confirmed. You two should stay alert. Let me know if you find anything suspicious. Luke and Alia left the security office feeling both concerned and determined. They decided to revisit Sam, the old trader who had previously helped them. Sam welcomed them warmly, but his expression changed to worry when they told him what they'd learned. Trouble indeed, Sam sighed heavily. I wish I had more to tell you, but keep an eye on some of the newer traders. They've arrived recently, and some are very secretive. Can you point them out to us? Luke asked gently, careful not to pressure the old trader. Sam nodded, guiding them discreetly through the marketplace. He subtly pointed out a small group of traders who stood apart from others, speaking quietly among themselves. They appeared calm, but their guarded eyes revealed caution and secrecy. Luke thanked Sam again and turned to Alia. Let's watch them for a while. Maybe we'll catch something. They moved closer, pretending to browse goods while carefully observing the traders. The suspicious group eventually dispersed, each going in different directions. Luke motioned to Alia, signaling they should follow one of them, a tall, slender alien with dark, cautious eyes. The alien moved swiftly, glancing around often. Luke and Alia stayed at a safe distance, following until the alien entered a quiet storage area away from the crowded marketplace. They paused, hiding nearby, listening intently as quiet voices began to speak. Are you sure we haven't been discovered? A voice asked sharply, tense and wary. Yes, they caught some of our group last night, but no names were revealed. Another voice responded calmly. Good. The first voice sounded relieved. The boss won't tolerate mistakes. We must keep quiet and careful. Tensions must rise between the humans and aliens soon. Alia's heart raced as she looked worriedly at Luke. He nodded, signaling they should quietly move away. Once at a safe distance, they stopped to discuss what they had overheard. "We need proof," Luke whispered urgently. "Something we can show Dana. She can't act without clear evidence." Alia looked nervous but determined. "I can distract them. You can try to find something that proves their intentions." Luke hesitated, worried for her safety. "Alia, it's dangerous." "Are you sure?" Alia took a deep breath, steadying herself. "Yes, we have to stop this. I trust you, Luke. Let's do this." They returned carefully to the storage area. Alia approached the suspicious traders openly, pretending to be lost. They looked at her sharply, their expressions wary but curious. "Excuse me, I think I got turned around," Alia said, her voice innocent and apologetic. "Can you help me find the docking area?" The traders exchanged glances before one stepped forward cautiously. "It's back that way," he said, pointing vaguely toward the market. Alia nodded, asking more questions to keep their attention focused on her. Meanwhile, Luke carefully slipped into the storage room, searching quickly and silently for anything suspicious. His heart pounded in his chest as he moved between crates and boxes, careful not to make any noise. Finally, hidden among tools and spare parts, Luke discovered a small communication device. He quickly checked it, realizing it contained recorded messages, likely orders from whoever was behind this plot. He carefully took it and slipped quietly back outside, his pulse racing with excitement. Lya saw Luke emerge safely and quickly ended her conversation, thanking the traders before walking away. She met Luke a short distance away, clearly relieved. "Did you find anything?" she asked anxiously. Luke held up the device triumphantly. "This should have what we need. Let's get it to Dana immediately." They hurried back to the security office, Dana greeting them eagerly. She quickly examined the communication device, playing some of the messages. Her eyes widened as she listened carefully. "This is exactly the proof we need," Dana confirmed urgently. "This recording clearly shows their intentions to cause trouble. Excellent work, both of you. What happens now?" Alia asked softly, hopeful yet anxious. "We act quickly," Dana replied firmly. "We'll capture the remaining members and find out who is behind this. Meanwhile, you two need to be careful. Whoever organized this won't be happy when they find out we're on to them." Alia felt nervous but determined. She glanced at Luke, finding courage in his steady gaze. Together, they agreed to stay vigilant but hopeful. They left Dana's office, feeling relieved yet aware the danger wasn't entirely over. Still, they had taken a crucial step towards stopping the threat. Luke reached for Alia's hand, offering gentle reassurance. She smiled softly, her worries easing slightly. "We did the right thing," Luke said softly, his voice warm with encouragement. Lya nodded slowly, comforted by his presence. "Yes, we did, and I'm glad we faced this together." They walked quietly back toward Alia's ship, each lost in thought yet deeply connected through their shared experiences. They knew challenges still lay ahead, but their bond had grown stronger. Whatever happened next, they were ready to face it together. After giving the communication device to Dana Mitchell, Luke Garrett and Alia felt safer but remained cautious. They knew the danger hadn't fully passed, and someone powerful was still behind the scenes. Luke suggested they keep a low profile and carefully watch the hub, staying alert for anything unusual. As they walked through the trade hub, Alia glanced nervously around. Luke noticed her anxiety and gently touched her arm. "Are you okay, Alia?" he asked softly. "I'm just worried," Alia admitted quietly. "Someone wants to create trouble between humans and aliens." "What if they're successful?" Luke offered her a comforting smile. "They won't be. People here value peace and trade too much. We'll figure this out." Alia took a deep breath, comforted by Luke's steady confidence. They decided to sit quietly near the marketplace, observing the crowd while blending in. The hub was as busy as ever, filled with traders and visitors moving about without suspicion. Suddenly, Luke noticed a familiar figure moving quickly through the crowd. It was one of the suspicious traders they had followed earlier. The trader seemed nervous, glancing around constantly. "He looks worried," Alia whispered carefully. "Maybe something went wrong," Luke replied thoughtfully. "We should follow him carefully." They moved discreetly through the crowd, keeping their distance. The trader led them to a secluded area near the docks, where he met another alien. They spoke urgently but quietly, glancing around as if fearing they were being watched. HFY strained to listen, but their voices were low. She exchanged a worried glance with Luke, who gently moved closer, trying not to attract attention. "He could just make out a few words. Too dangerous now. They're on to us. We must inform the boss." The trader spoke nervously. "No. Heal. Be furious," the other alien replied sharply. "We must handle this ourselves first. Create a distraction. Something to divert attention away." Luke stepped back quietly, returning to Alia's side. "They're planning something else, a distraction. We must warn Dana." They quickly headed to the security office, finding Dana already busy with the earlier information. "Dana, we have more news," Luke explained urgently. "They're planning another move, a distraction." Dana frowned deeply, her eyes showing deep concern. "This isn't good. Any distraction could mean real danger to the trade hub. I need both of you to help watch key areas closely. We must catch them before they act." Luke and Alia agreed immediately, heading out to different sections of the trade hub to keep watch. Luke positioned himself near the docking area, watching closely for anything suspicious. Alia stayed near the marketplace, carefully observing the crowd. As Luke stood watch, he noticed unusual activity near a large cargo ship docked at the far end of the docks. Several individuals were loading crates rapidly, their movements hurried and secretive. Luke approached cautiously, realizing the crates were marked with symbols he didn't recognize. He quietly contacted Dana. "Dana, something's happening at dock 12. People are loading crates quickly." "Something doesn't feel right," Dana responded immediately, sounding worried. "Stay hidden, Luke. I'm sending a team right away." Luke waited nervously, keeping out of sight. Within minutes, security arrived silently, quickly surrounding the cargo ship. Shouting erupted, and several of the suspicious individuals attempted to flee, but were swiftly captured. Dana approached Luke afterward, clearly relieved. "You've done well, Luke. These crates contain explosives. They plan to create chaos in the docking area. Thanks to you, we've prevented a major disaster." Meanwhile, Alia watched the marketplace carefully, noticing a small group acting strangely. They moved toward the hub's main power controls, glancing around anxiously. Alia quietly contacted Dana as well, describing the suspicious activity. "Alia, keep your distance," Dana warned gently. "I'm coming immediately." Alia stayed hidden, watching nervously until security arrived, quickly detained the group before they could tamper with the controls. Soon after, Alia and Luke reunited, with Dana sharing relief at having stopped two dangerous attempts at causing chaos. "You've both done incredibly well," Dana praised sincerely. "But it's clear now more than ever we must identify who's behind this quickly. How can we do that?" Alia asked softly, still worried. "We'll question those we've caught," Dana explained. "They might finally give us useful information. In the meantime, please stay careful. Whoever organized this might target you two directly next." Luke nodded seriously, determined to protect Alia. "We understand, Dana. Thank you." After Dana left, Luke turned to Alia, gently reassuring her. "We've stopped them so far, Alia. We'll stop whoever's behind this too." Alia felt comforted by his determination, nodding slowly. "I believe you, Luke. But it feels like the danger won't stop until we find the source." "You're right," Luke agreed quietly. "But we're closer than ever now. Let's stay strong and careful." As evening arrived, they returned to Alia's ship, both tired but alert. They decided to rest briefly, aware they needed strength for whatever came next. Alia prepared a simple meal, and they ate quietly, sharing occasional glances filled with silent understanding. You've been so brave through all this, Luke told Alia softly, genuine admiration in his voice. Alia smiled gently, feeling warmth from his words. Only because you've been by my side. I never imagined trusting a human this much. Luke smiled back warmly, and I never imagined meeting someone like you. Someone who makes me feel this way stronger, more determined. Their eyes met quietly, each feeling a powerful connection growing deeper. Alia reached out, taking Luke's hand gently in hers. The gesture felt natural and comforting to them both. We'll face this together, Alia whispered, her voice filled with quiet strength. Together, Luke agreed softly, squeezing her hand gently. They sat quietly, resting but alert, knowing the next day could bring more challenges. Yet, they felt less fear now, strengthened by their growing trust and companionship. Their bond had become their greatest strength, allowing them to face any danger united and determined to protect peace at all costs. Early the next morning, Luke, Garrett, and Alia woke, feeling both hopeful and cautious. The recent events had shown them clearly how dangerous their situation was, but their determination to protect peace only grew stronger. After a quick meal, they went directly to the security office to meet with Dana Mitchell again. Dana was waiting, appearing tired but determined. Good, you're here. We got important information from those we captured. They finally talked. We know who's behind this now. Luke leaned forward eagerly. Who is it, Dana? It's a trader named Gregor Voss, Dana explained seriously. He's been trading here for years but secretly resented humans for dominating trade. He wanted to turn other alien species against humans to weaken human influence. Alia looked shocked. Gregor Voss? I've seen him. He always seemed friendly. It was all a front, Dana confirmed. He was very clever, hiding his true intentions. We've been monitoring him closely now. He's planning one final move, a direct attack on human traders at a gathering today. Luke felt a cold chill of worry. We must stop him immediately. Exactly. Dana agreed. We prepared a plan, but I need your help. Voss trusts you, Luke. He believes you have no idea what's happening. You can get close enough to distract him while we move in. Luke nodded firmly. I'll do whatever it takes. Alia felt immediate concern, looking at Luke anxiously. It's dangerous, Luke. You might hurt you. Luke gave Alia a gentle smile. I'll be careful. Besides, with Dana and security nearby, I'll be safe. Alia reluctantly agreed, knowing there was no better choice. Soon, preparations began. Security officers discreetly placed themselves around the gathering area, ready to act quickly. Luke took a deep breath, calming his nerves as he approached the meeting area where Gregor Voss waited. As Luke walked toward Voss, he felt Alia's supportive gaze behind him, giving him strength. Gregor Voss greeted Luke warmly, hiding any suspicion. Luke, my friend, Voss said with a cheerful smile. Good to see you here. Good to see you too, Gregor, Luke replied, keeping his voice calm and steady. How are the trades going today? Excellent, as always, Voss responded smoothly, his eyes carefully watching the crowd around them. But I sense trouble in the air, don't you? Trouble? Luke asked innocently. What kind of trouble? Voss leaned closer, lowering his voice. Human traders have too much control. It might upset the balance here. Luke pretended surprise, acting confused. But peace helps everyone. Why disrupt that? Sometimes conflict is necessary, Voss replied coldly, his voice showing his true feelings. It changes things, Luke. Brings new opportunities. Luke sensed Dana's signal from across the room. He carefully maintained his composure, keeping Voss engaged. And you think conflict is the answer, Gregor? It's the only way, Voss insisted firmly. Humans must learn they can't dominate everything. Others deserve their chance. Luke shook his head gently. There are better ways, Gregor. Peace and cooperation create real strength, not conflict. Voss eyed Luke suspiciously, his voice becoming sharp. You sound very sure, Luke. Maybe too sure. At that moment, security officers quietly surrounded Voss, their presence now obvious. Dana stepped forward confidently. "Gregor Voss, you're under arrest," Dana announced clearly. "We know your plans. Your attempt to create chaos ends here." Voss glared furiously at Luke, realizing he'd been tricked. "You betrayed me, Luke." "No, Gregor," Luke replied calmly. "You betrayed everyone here. Trust and peace matter more than power." Security quickly took Voss away, the crowd watching in shock and confusion. Dana turned to Luke, smiling with relief. "You did perfectly, Luke. You've helped save this hub." Luke nodded, feeling exhausted but deeply satisfied. Alia approached. Quickly, her eyes filled with relief and admiration. "Luke, you were amazing," Alia said softly, her voice filled with warmth. "It was worth the risk," Luke replied gently. Feeling his heart warm at her praise, the traders and visitors soon learned the truth, expressing relief and gratitude to Luke and Alia for their bravery. Peace quickly returned, stronger than ever. As the trade hub reaffirmed its commitment to unity among species. Later that evening, Luke and Alia returned to her ship, sharing a quiet moment together after the excitement. They sat side by side, looking out at the stars, feeling peace they hadn't known in days. "You did something incredible today, Luke," Alia whispered gently, her eyes filled with pride. "You stood up for what's right, even when it was dangerous." Luke smiled modestly. "It was a team effort, Alia. Without you and Dana, none of this would have been possible." Alia looked away shyly for a moment, then met his gaze again. "Still, you made me believe in humans again. Before I met you, I thought humans were all selfish. You changed everything." Luke gently took her hand, his expression sincere. "And you showed me strength I never knew existed. I've learned so much from you, Alia." They sat quietly, feeling the strong bond between them grow deeper. The stars seemed brighter now, symbolizing their victory and hope for the future. Alia leaned closer to Luke, feeling safe and happy beside him. "What happens now?" Alia asked softly, breaking the peaceful silence. "Now we rebuild trust," Luke said thoughtfully. "We show everyone peace is stronger than fear." Alia nodded slowly, her voice steady with determination. "And we'll do it together." Luke squeezed her hand warmly. "Always together." They remained quiet, lost in peaceful thought, knowing the hardest battles had been won, yet aware challenges remained ahead. But now they felt ready, stronger together, ready to face anything. Their trust and friendship had become a powerful force, proving unity between species could overcome any obstacle. As the night deepened, Luke and Alia continued watching the stars, filled with hope and courage. Their journey had changed them forever, showing clearly how kindness, trust, and unity could overcome even the greatest dangers. They knew they had helped preserve peace, ready now to protect it always. Days passed quickly after Gregor Voss was arrested, and peace had returned to the trade hub. Luke, Garrett, and Alia became well known around the hub for their bravery, receiving smiles and nods of gratitude wherever they went, the sense of safety. And unity had grown stronger. Yet Luke noticed Alia seemed distracted and thoughtful lately. One evening, as they sat near Alia's ship, Luke gently broke the silence. "Alia, is everything okay? You've seemed quiet these past few days." Alia glanced at him, her green eyes reflecting concern and uncertainty. "I've been thinking about my crew. I can't help wondering if I should find them or just move forward." Luke understood her confusion and offered a gentle smile. "Do you miss them?" Alia sighed softly. "Part of me does, even though they left me. I wonder if there's more to why they abandoned me. Maybe there was danger I didn't know about." "You deserve answers, Alia," Luke replied softly. "If you want, we can search for your crew together. We'll find out what really happened." Alia's eyes widened slightly, touched by his willingness to help. "Would you really do that, Luke?" "Of course," he answered sincerely. "I want you to have peace. Knowing the truth might help you find it." Alia nodded slowly, smiling. Softly, "Then let's do it. I need to know." The following morning, they began searching the trade hub for information about Alia's former crew. They visited several traders who remembered Alia's ship docking weeks earlier. Eventually, a trader named Maria, known for her sharp memory, provided useful information. "Yes, I saw your crew leave quickly," Maria explained carefully. "They seemed worried, mentioning trouble with some unknown group. I didn't realize." "You've been left behind, Alia. I'm sorry." Alia exchanged a serious glance with Luke. "Do you know where they were headed, Maria?" Maria thought for a moment, then nodded firmly. They spoke about traveling to the Dorian station. It's a remote outpost, rarely visited. Luke thanked Maria warmly, turning to Alia afterward. "Sounds like our next destination." Alia felt hopeful yet nervous. "Are you sure you want to come? This could be dangerous." "Alia, we face worse together," Luke reassured her. "We'll handle whatever we find." Alia smiled warmly, comforted by Luke's steady determination. They quickly prepared Alia's ship for the journey, ensuring everything was secure and functioning well. As they lifted off from the trade hub, Alia felt excitement mixed with worry. During the trip, Alia and Luke talked quietly, sharing their feelings and hopes. Alia opened up more about her crew, describing them as skilled but secretive at times. "Do you trust them?" Luke asked gently, sensing her uncertainty. Lya hesitated before answering. "I used to. But after everything that's happened, I'm not so sure anymore." Luke placed a comforting hand on hers. "No matter what we find, you're not alone, Alia. I'll stand by you." Alia's heart warmed at his words, and she nodded gratefully. "I know, Luke. Thank you." As they approached Dorian Station, they noticed it appeared quiet and mostly abandoned. Docking carefully, they exited the ship, cautiously, immediately sensing the tense atmosphere of the station. The corridors were dimly lit, with only a few aliens moving silently about, giving them wary looks. "Something's not right," Luke whispered cautiously. "Stay close," Alia replied softly, her eyes alert and wary. They carefully explored the station, eventually finding a familiar ship docked near the far end. Alia froze, recognizing it immediately. "That's their ship," she whispered, her voice shaking slightly. They moved carefully toward it, hearing muffled voices from inside. Alia took a deep breath, steadying herself, and then knocked firmly on the ship's door. It opened slowly, revealing familiar faces staring at her in shock. "Alia?" A tall, thin alien named Taran stepped forward, looking genuinely stunned. "You're alive?" "You left me behind," Alia said firmly, struggling to keep her voice calm. "Why?" Taran glanced nervously at the others before speaking quietly. "We were afraid, Alia. Someone threatened us, saying you were a target. They told us leaving you behind was the only way we'd survive. We regretted it immediately, but we thought you were safer without us." Alia stared in disbelief, hurt but trying to understand. Luke stepped forward gently, sensing Alia's turmoil. "Who threatened you?" Luke asked clearly. "A traitor named Gregor Voss," Taran explained reluctantly. "He said Alia was connected to trouble that could harm us all. We believed him." Alia felt her anger melt slightly into understanding. "He tricked you too. Voss wanted to cause trouble between aliens and humans. He's been caught." The crew looked relieved yet ashamed. Taran stepped closer, regret evident on his face. "Alia, we made a terrible mistake. We never should have left you. Can you forgive us?" Alia hesitated, glancing at Luke, who offered silent support. Finally, she nodded slowly. "I can forgive you, but I can't travel with you anymore. I've found a different path now." Taran nodded in understanding, his eyes showing genuine respect. "We understand. Thank you for your forgiveness, Alia. We're truly sorry." After the crew departed, Alia felt lighter, finally free from the burden of confusion and hurt. She looked at Luke, her expression filled with gratitude and clarity. "Thank you, Luke," she said warmly, her voice filled with genuine emotion. "You helped me find the truth. I feel free now." "I'm glad," Luke replied gently, feeling deeply happy for her. You deserve to be free of the past, Alia. Alia smiled softly, her eyes bright and hopeful. And now we can decide what's next together. Exactly, Luke agreed warmly. Whatever you choose, Alia, I'll support you completely. They returned to their ship, leaving Dorian Station behind. As they traveled back toward the trade hub, Alia felt peaceful and certain, knowing her decision was the right one. The past was finally behind her, and the future, bright and filled with promise, lay ahead. Luke watched Alia quietly, feeling deep admiration for her strength and kindness. He knew they had grown closer through their trials, and whatever came next, they would face it together, united by trust and affection. Their bond, stronger than ever, promised hope and happiness for both of them, no matter what the future might hold.